Good morning, dear learners. Today we are going to see feminist writing. I'm Kalayarasi, Assistant Professor, Department of Good morning,
English
dear learners.
from St.Josephs
Today we
College
are
of
going to
Arts and
read
Science for
feminist
Women,
writing.
Hosur.
I'm Kalayarasi, Assistant Professor, Department of English from St. Joseph College of Arts and Science for Women, Hosur. In feminist writing, we are going to see The Art of Living by Mahadevi Verma. Let's we see the author introduction about Mahadevi Verma. She was born on 26 March 1907 and her lifetime is up to 11 September 1987. She was an Indian Hindi language poet. She is also an essayist and additionally sketch story writer and eminent personality of Hindi literature. She is considered as one of the four major pillars of the Chayawadi era in Hindi literature. Most of her works are seen in Hindi language only. She has also been addressed as the modern Meera. She is called as Meera because of her innovative she presents in her writings. Verma was originally admitted to a convent school, but upon protest and an unwilling attitude, she was admission to Crosswhite Girls' College at Allahabad. Nihar was her debut collection of poems. In 1930, Nihar was published, and in 1932, Rashmi was published. In 1933, Neeraj were composed by her. In 1935, her collection of poems called Sandhya Geet was published. In 1939, four poetic collections were published with their artworks under the title Yama. Apart from these, she has written 18 novels and also short stories. Okay, let we see the essay. The art of living delves into the causes and reasons for the alienation of women in Indian society. Particularly, she wrote about the alienation of women that we can witness in Indian society. Verma explores the origin and power of the principles of Hindu society that enslaves women. In the Indian society, she particularly attacks the Hindu society because there only we can slave more, there only we can see more enslavement of women. Examining the stereotypical images of women, the essay considers how the principles designed for the development of the individual turn repressive in the case of women. The essay also considers the social conditioning of women that makes them accept the status of others unquestioningly. Now we see the women in colonial India. In the essay, the writer explains the condition of the women and the various form of her oppressions within social and historical circumstances of India. India is a land with a glorious past. We are having lot of glorious things that we can retain and we can cherish and tradition, but was destroyed by the invading imperialist. As we are invaded by many imperialists, we can witness a lot of changes in our cultures. The reconstruction of an idealized pure Indian past depend on the construction of an Indian womanhood that was equally pure and idealized. The images of women were glorified in the myths. In the ancient myths, we can see that women were glorified and they were taken to the level of God too. And in epics also, we can witness the same. Verma praises the ancients for creating a healthy society because in ancient society, women were praised up to the level of God that tried holistically to develop the individual and community. But the ancient principles have degenerated into dead weight of tradition that fetters our feet. Women are the victims of this curse. They suffer because they do not have the knowledge of the art of living. The writer says that the past has offered principles to develop humanity, but the very principles repress the growth of women. Here we can see the alienation of women. In Indian society, the socio-cultural traditions have granted women only limited space for self-expression. The women in the society couldn't express themselves and affirmation. In patriarchy, women who are denied opportunities to express themselves are the examples of the eminent self. Their status as the other has robbed them of freedom and has reduced them to a thing inferior to the sovereign subject man. So women has become frustrated. Now we look upon the nature of Hindu society. In the ancient Hindu society, principles were developed The growth of the citizens. Those principles were not gender aligned, were all articulation of patriarchal structures. Men kept women away from the public spheres by assuming the role of provider of financial security, and his physical strength also contributed to the image of security. Man framed rules for the behavior of women in the society and made her subordinate to him. So the author criticizes women for being ignorant of the art of living, which is embodied in self assertion and has its roots in love for oneself. True art of living is a combination of the principles and their application that provides opportunities for the holistic growth of the individual. The society should provide equal opportunities for men and women to transcend themselves.